Welcome back, guys, to the Andrei Delic podcast. Today I'm going to be alone. I have many different topics for this reality check. I'm going to start off with football, soccer, the greatest sport on planet fucking Earth. As you guys know, recently there's been the interview with Piers Morgan and Cristiano, the GOAT, Ronaldo. You guys know how much I love him. He's my idol. There's no one else I love more than Ronaldo. But before I talk about that interview and everything that he said, that's really crazy, in my opinion, if I'm being honest. Let me start off with something that Franck Ribéry said. Franck Ribéry, for people who know football, for people who watch football, he's one of the greatest players to ever play the game. He's from France. He's French. He's an amazing player. Truly, he's a legend. You guys know how much I love and respect him as a player and as a person. One of the greatest French players to ever play the game. He's won a Champions League. He should have won, actually, in my opinion, he should have won the Ballon d'Or in 2013. When Ronaldo stole the Ballon d'Or from Franck Ribéry, if we're being honest, it was a pure steal. Ribéry deserved that Ballon d'Or. So you guys know how much I respect him. But what he said right now, I cannot respect what he said. I don't fuck with what he said because I don't agree with it. He said, and I'm quoting him right now, personally, I think that myself and Arjen Robben, another great legend who's from Holland and who played at Bayern alongside Franck Ribéry, at some point, we were better than Cristiano and Messi. Like, broski. Like, you know how much, like I said, how much I love Robben, how much I love Ribéry. But to say that you guys were at one point better than Messi and Cristiano, that's an outrageous take. Like, that's crazy. To even, just the fact that you even thought about it is crazy. And then the fact that you literally went on a podcast and said it word for word, that's even crazier. That's just crazy. Like I said, you should have won the 2013 Ballon d'Or, Ribéry. You deserved it. Everyone who knows football, everyone who watched football that year, that season, we all know you got robbed from Cristiano Ronaldo. We all admit it. But that's the only year where you were in your peak and in your prime and where you actually deserved to win the Ballon d'Or. There's no other year where you deserved to win the Ballon d'Or. And I'm saying 2013, like you guys know what I always say, Messi should have won every single Ballon d'Or ever since 2009. Like, I always had that same opinion, and I'm always going to have that opinion. But let's say sometimes we want to change the winner because it's going to be boring if we always give it to Lionel Messi. 2013, when Ronaldo won it, it should have been you. But we could have also easily give it to Messi because, like I said so many times on my podcast, every single year that Messi walks on the pitch, every single year that Messi simply plays soccer, he's the greatest player of all time. And he's the greatest player that year. So 2013 could have, of course, easily to Messi. But if we're being like, okay, let's give it to someone else. Ronaldo, he didn't deserve a 2013 Ballon d'Or. You should have won it. But to say that you and Robben at some point were better than Messi and Ronaldo, that's crazy. Now, I can admit that 2013, Ribéry was better than Ronaldo. Maybe not Robben. Robben is still a great, great legend, big legend. To say now that he was better than Cristiano Ronaldo, that's a bit pushing it, even for 2013 when they won the Champions League at Bayern. But okay, I can say that Ribéry was better than Cristiano in 2013, but Ribéry, there isn't a single year, a single month, a single day, a single minute, or a single second where you were better than Lionel Andres fucking Messi Cusitini. Not a single second. Not a fucking single second. So that's where I guess we can agree to disagree, or this is where we agree and where we disagree also. And then he went on to say, however, they played in El Clasico, so that worked to their advantage as the audience watched them more. 50-50 on what he said. Yes, like when it comes to the El Clasico, even now in 2025, when is the El Clasico? When it's Barca versus Real Madrid. Of course, everyone who watches football is going to watch that game. Why? Because that's the highest quality of football that we have currently on planet Earth. Now, in 2025, and for the past 15 years, when Messi and Ronaldo were going head-to-head in the El Clasicos. So, of course, I agree that everyone who watches football is going to watch that game. And side by side to, let's say, Bayern Munich when they played against Borussia Dortmund, who that's like their El Clasico, but in Germany, it's not the same level of audience. It's not the same audience. Why? Because it's not the same level of football. The level of football that El Clasico had, the real El Clasico between Barca and Real Madrid, was a way more developed level and a way higher level than Bayern and Borussia Dortmund. It's not even comparable. It's miles, like La Liga is miles ahead to Bundesliga, like if we're being honest. So yes, I agree that more people watch El Clasico. But the reason why is because Messi and Ronaldo were there, and they were better, and they still are better than Ribéry and Robben, and the level of play was way, way better. It's not even comparable. So to say that it worked to their advantage, not really. They were just simply better. If Bayern and Borussia were to be better than Barca and Real Madrid, more people would watch Bayern and Borussia, right? That's just normal. Me as a soccer fan, as a football fan, I watch all the games that are interesting and have good level of football. Why? Because it's fucking fun to watch. It's as simple as that. And the same logic goes on for all the other fans. So of course, if Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund were as good as Barca and Real Madrid were, especially in the 2010s, everyone would have watched Der Klassik, which is how they call it in Germany. It's like Der Klassik or Der Klassik or something like that. Everyone would have watched that also, but that's not the case. Why? Because the level is different. So just let me sum up what I said. Ribéry and Robben were never better than Cristiano and Messi. There's only 1 year where Ribéry was better than Ronaldo, and it's 2013. Ribéry comparing to Messi, not a single year or a single minute where Ribéry was better than Messi. No, let's not even talk about it. That's like not even comparable. And then the El Clasico is because it's simple, is because Real Madrid and Barca were a million times better. Maybe not a million times. I mean, Bayern Munich do have like 6 or 7 Champions League. They're one of the greatest clubs of all time. But compared to Barca and Real Madrid, there's no comparisons. Okay, so guys, recently, as all my football fans know, Ronaldo did a podcast, did an interview, however you call it. He did a podcast with Piers fucking Morgan. Now, you guys know I love and respect Piers Morgan. Why? Because he's a good journalist. He's a good podcaster. He knows what he's doing. I don't agree with everything he says or everything he does, especially when it comes to football. You guys know how much he dick rides Cristiano Ronaldo, how much he over-evaluates what Ronaldo did in his career and on the pitch. Like, you guys know that when it comes to football, I disagree completely with Piers Morgan. So recently he did a podcast with the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo, my idol, my favorite person. He did a podcast with him, and there were like, of course, they did like a 40-minute podcast, and there were many different topics that he talked about, different questions that he asked Ronaldo. But I have how many? I have 3 specific topics that are like the most mind-blowing topics and the craziest takes I ever heard. Not only Ronaldo say, but a human being say on planet fucking Earth. It's crazy. Okay, so let's start off with the first one. So now I'm going to be quoting what Ronaldo said on that podcast. He said, I already won 3 titles with Portugal. Before it was nothing. That's true. He won the Euro once, and he won 2 Euro Nations League with Portugal. That's amazing. Really, really good on this part. Like, congratulations to Ronaldo and to the Portuguese team. As you guys know, football, soccer is a team sport. It's not an individual sport. It's not like only Ronaldo won that trophy. Portugal won the trophy. And then he went on to say, why should World Cup define me with 6 or 7 games, says Cristiano. For people who know the World Cup, if you go to the max, which is 3 games in the group stage, then 1 game in the round of 16, which is 4, quarterfinals 5, semifinals 6, and then the finals 7. So the max games that international team can play in the World Cup is 7 games. So I understand what he's trying to say, like, oh, only 7 games. Like, why should that define my career? I understand that logic, but still, it remains the World Cup. All the greatest legends, all the greatest players, they all have won a World Cup. You have to win a World Cup. And then he went on to say, people say, like, Cristiano would become the GOAT if he wins the World Cup. I disagree. Even Ronaldo, like I did a podcast with Luca, even if Ronaldo won 10 World Cups, which is literally impossible because a World Cup is played every 4 years, and to win 10 World Cups, that would be 40 years, so no one plays a career of 40 years, that's impossible. But even if he was somehow to win 10 World Cups, he still wouldn't fucking be the GOAT. Why? Because on the pitch, he doesn't play as well as Lionel Andres fucking Messi. That's fucking why. I don't give a fuck how many World Cups he wins. First of all, he never won a World Cup, Ronaldo. But even if he was to win fucking 10 World Cups, forget about it. It's not even comparable. Like, it's comparing bananas with apples. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Don't even think about it. Don't even talk about it. Forget about it. So Cristiano would become the GOAT if he wins a World Cup. I disagree. He said, I don't agree. Okay, so I guess Ronaldo, we see eye to eye here. I won 3 titles with Portugal already. 3. We, as a country, won nothing before those 3 titles. That's true. Now, like I said, football, soccer is a team sport. Argentina is a way bigger national team than Portugal. That's true. And that's like, you cannot change where you're born. Ronaldo's born in Portugal. Messi's born in Argentina. So, of course, he's going to play for the Argentinian national team. And Ronaldo's going to play for the Portuguese national team. You cannot change that. That's a fact of life. He was born there. That was out of his control. And yes, Argentina, they're a way more accomplished national team than Portugal. Portugal have 0 World Cups. They have no history before Ronaldo. And before Messi arrived at Argentina, Argentina already had 2 World Cups. So I agree. That's a fact. But still, winning 1 Euro and winning 2 Euro Nations League, it's not even comparable to 1 World Cup in terms of difficulty and in terms of importance for the sport and for the GOAT status. And not only did Messi only win 1 World Cup, he also won 2 Copa Americas, which is like, after the World Cup and the Euros, the Copa America is the most important trophy. And if I'm being honest, Copa America, South American football, is as good as European football. So winning Copa America or winning the Euros, maybe the Euros is a bit harder, a bit more difficult than Copa America, but still, man, it's not like a big difference. It's really, really close. And Messi has 2 Copa Americas, 1 World Cup, which that blows Ronaldo out of the water with his 1 Euro and 2 Nations League. And if we're being honest, like if we go math for math, word for word, bar for bar, the 1 World Cup kills Ronaldo's 1 Euro, and then the 2 Copa Americas are way more important and way more prestigious to win than 2 Euro Nations League. If I'm being honest, the Euro Nations League, for anyone who knows football, it's not worth shit. It's worth dog shit, the Euro Nations League. Why? Because it's not a friendly tournament. It's basically like a friendly tournament because you have like 6 teams competing. 5 of those 6 teams don't give a fuck. So you only have Portugal who gives a fuck. You only have Ronaldo who gives a fuck. And then he does everything in his power to win it. Like, of course, he won it. Still, congratulations. But we all know the Euro Nations League, no one gives a fuck. And before, like, I think the Euro Nations League, it started off in 2022. I think that was the first time they started the Euro Nations League. Before that, it didn't even exist. It's a new tournament. And it's not really a tournament. Like I said, it's just like a money grab for these not big corporations, but for the UEFA and for the FIFA to get more money. It's just a money grab. So to compare 2 Copa Americas with 2 Euro Nations League, it's not even comparable because the two Copa Americas are way, way bigger than the 2 Euro Nations League. And the 2 Copa Americas are as big as the Euro, but he only has 1 Euro and Messi has 2 Copa Americas. So 2 against 1. I'm not a big mathematician, but one thing I know for sure is 2 is higher than 1. So 2 is more than 1. And then 1 World Cup and Ronaldo, no World Cups. But I do agree with the fact that Ronaldo said, like I said, it's a team sport, that Argentina, historically, and even now, is a bigger national team than Portugal. That's true. Maybe now in the upcoming World Cup, maybe now they're more fair, they're more equal, because Portugal right now, they have a really fucking strong team. Like a really fucking strong team. Like they have amazing players. Vitinha, Nuno Mendes, Rafael Leao, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva. They have amazing fucking players right now, Portugal. Still, in my opinion, they have no winning chances in the World Cup. Like, they're like B tier, B class. Like if you have A class, which you have like France, England, Argentina, and Brazil, then in the B class, you have Portugal. So like those 4 teams who have the most chance of winning the World Cup, which is Argentina, Brazil, Spain, France, maybe England. Yeah, and then after them, you have Portugal. But still, man, I don't see Portugal winning the World Cup. That's too much. But to get back to the main argument is, right now, in 2025, Portugal have a really, really strong team, if I'm being honest. Argentina also have a really strong team. They really do have a fucking good team. But now, compared to 2022, Portugal and Argentina are closer in terms of level than they were in 2022. And then Ronaldo went on to say, if he wins the World Cup, I don't agree. I won 3 titles, 3 as a country. Won that before. Okay, he then went on to say, how many World Cups did Argentina win before Messi? 2. They're used to win big competitions. If Portugal win the World Cup, we will shock the world. Yes, that's true. Argentina did win 2 World Cups before Messi, like in the 1986 with Maradona and 1978. I'm not sure who was the main player over 1978. Alfredo Di Stefano, probably. Yeah, he was their main guy. Di Stefano in 1978. And then in 1986 with fucking Maradona, which, side note, that was the greatest football performance an individual had in a tournament. No one comes close. Not Messi in 2022. Although, okay, Messi in 2022 is the only player in a World Cup tournament that comes close to the brilliance and to the same level of play that Maradona had in 1986. Because if I'm being honest, in 1986, Maradona single-handedly won the World Cup for Argentina. Like literally single fucking handedly. That was the craziest performance on a football pitch I ever saw in my life. Those 7 games that Maradona played back to fucking back. Every single game he played 9.9 out of 10. He was ludicrous on the pitch. He was magical. He was crazy on the pitch. That's a fact. The only player in a World Cup setting, in a World Cup tournament, that comes close to that performance that Maradona had is Messi in 2022. He's the only player. Of course, you have Zidane in 1998, went fucking crazy with France, right? They won the World Cup. You have Ronaldo Phenomenal in 2002, went crazy. You have Iniesta 2010 with Xavi with Spain, went crazy. 2014, that was Germany. Germany they're more like a team. They don't have a single player who goes crazy. All of their players are like B+, A- players. They don't have a A+ player. And then who else? 2014, 2018. Who won in 2018? It was France. Modric went crazy. Not as crazy as Messi or Maradona. Modric did go crazy. He brought Croatia to the finals, which is fucking crazy. So yeah, like I said, 1986 Maradona, that was the craziest World Cup performance an individual had in a 7-game World Cup tournament. And then second place is, of course, Lionel Messi in 2022. But to get back to what he said, yes, Argentina did win 2 World Cups before Messi. Portugal have never won a World Cup, and they still never won a World Cup. Present, past, and if I'm being honest, there's high chances of them never winning a World Cup in the future. Although I did say many times that the only teams that can win their World Cup in the future years, in the future tournaments, are the teams that have already won the World Cup. And out of the teams that never won a World Cup, the only countries that do maybe have chances are Portugal or the Netherlands. The Netherlands, they went to the finals 3 times, but they never won, but they still managed to go to the finals 3 times. Twice in the 70s with Johan Cruyff, and once in 2010 against Spain when Iniesta scored the last-minute goal, and then Spain won the World Cup in 2010. But they did go 3 times to the final, Holland, but they never won it. So the only national team who never won a World Cup, but who does have World Cup winning chances, is the Netherlands and Portugal. That's it. No one else, no African team, no Asian team, no North American team, no Eastern European team, so no whoever. The only teams who can do win are the teams who have already won, or Portugal and Holland. And then he said, if Portugal win the World Cup in 2026, that will shock the world. Of fucking course, I would be fucking crazy. I'd probably be somewhere crying if I see Ronaldo lifting the World Cup. I'm probably going to slit my wrists. I ain't going to lie. I'm going to be fucking sad. Probably going to shed a tear. I hope it doesn't fucking happen. But if it happens, congratulations to him, to the Portuguese team. But it's never going to fucking happen because that's too much of a far reach to say that Portugal are going to win the 2026 World Cup. That's the most prestigious tournament. It's the hardest tournament to win out of all sports on planet Earth. And there's just too many good teams coming up in the World Cup. Like I said, France, amazing. Their attack, their midfield. They are lacking defensively, but still, their team altogether is fucking crazy. Argentina, Messi's definitely going to be playing. I know nowadays, like now, he's saying like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm still waiting to see how I'm going to feel leading up to the World Cup or whatever. But believe me, he's going to be playing. He wants to represent Argentina as the defenders of the World Cup. So like I said, France are way too strong. Argentina are way too good. Spain are fucking ludicrous with Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Nico Williams, who's the fucking guy, Fabian Ruiz, and all, Rodri, defensive midfielder, with also Huijsen, the center back. Yo, Spain are looking crazy. England also, like I said so many times, on paper, England maybe have the greatest team with all their fucking players. Broski, it's fucking crazy. Bellingham, Saka, Cole Palmer, Harry Kane, Declan Rice, the list goes on. They're fucking amazing. They're phenomenal. Phil Foden, I mean, it's just crazy. But the way England play on the pitch, their style of play, their tactics, their technique isn't the best. And it's always been like that ever since football exists. Yes, England and the English have invented the sport of football, of soccer. They invented the sport, but they're just so bad at playing it, man. Like, they produce real big talents. They produce really good players. But when they come together as a team, they don't perform. They don't play to the highest level that they could be playing. And my opinion personally, it's because their tactics and their style of play is outdated and is pure shit. Like, nowadays in 2025, you have to play technical, you have to play tiki-taka, you have to have fast wingers, wingbacks, fast offensive wingers. You have to be good with the ball. You have to pass the ball around. You have to have technical midfielders. You have to have a decisive number 9. You have to have good center backs, a good goalkeeper. Like, nowadays, football is so developed. And there's so many good tacticians out there as coaches. There's so many good and effective style of plays that exist with Spain, with Brazil, with Argentina, with so many of these national teams that nowadays you cannot simply be strong and fast physically and win the World Cup. It's impossible, because you're going to have these teams, which, like I said so many times, football is the most technical sport on planet Earth. You have players, legends, if I might add, like Xavi, like Iniesta, like Pirlo, like Messi, like Maradona, like all these fucking players, Neymar, legends of the game, who are small, who are short, who aren't that strong, who are maybe fast, but who aren't that strong physically, who aren't that imposing physically, who aren't tall, but since they're so good with the ball, they're so magical with the ball, and they're so technical with the fucking ball, they're gonna kill any team, even though if these teams come with players who are like 6'2", 6'3", fucking fast, fucking athletic, whatever. But football is a technical sport. It's a technical sport and a tactical sport before being a physical sport. That's football. It's not American football. It's not basketball. It's not swimming. It's not athleticism. It's soccer. Soccer is technique and skills first, and then you put in the physical aspect of running fast, being strong, jumping high, just being physical in general, being physically fit. But before everything, it's technical and it's tactical. That's why England, man, even though on paper, like I said, they have to change their style of play, they have to change their culture. There's too many things that they do have to change for them to have winning chances. But hey, even though they have a shitty quote-unquote tactics and culture regarding their style of play, they still have more chances than Portugal, because the players they have, man, is just crazy. But Portugal are still really, really good. And then Ronaldo went on to say, "We will fight to win the World Cup, of course, but the World Cup will not define me at all." I agree, but I mean, I agree 50-50. Like, if Ronaldo wins the World Cup, that's going to help his legacy a lot. But even if he wins the World Cup, he's never going to surpass Messi. That's impossible. But it's going to help his legacy and his career to be way, way on a higher status than what it actually is right now currently. Because winning a World Cup is just fucking crazy. But if we're being honest, if Ronaldo starts at 40 years old, he's too old. He can't be starting for Portugal. And if he starts, that just assures that Portugal have zero chances of winning their World Cup. The only way that they might have chances, Portugal, of winning their World Cup is if they bench Ronaldo and they focus all of their energy on making Leao the main guy, making Vitinha the main star, Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Nuno Mendes, focusing on them. But if they put Ronaldo, as you guys know, I don't want to hate on Ronaldo. He's an amazing person, amazing player. But he's 40 fucking years old. He's a grandpa. For the sport of football, that's grandpa years. And he's going to be 41 before the World Cup. The World Cup playing in June. He's born in February. He's going to be 41. He's too old. He's not in his prime anymore. But if they put Ronaldo having his ego and his mentality and his give me the ball, me, and him literally taking the ball and shooting from wherever. Do you guys remember the 2024 Euros and the 2022 World Cup? Especially in the 2024 Euros, that was just crazy from Ronaldo. Broski would literally shoot from anywhere. He would be in the worst position to score. Literally 0% chances of scoring from where he is positioned on the pitch. He would still shoot that fucking ball. Why? Because he simply wants to score. Sometimes even though he's a legend of the game, and even though he understands, well, I'm pretty sure he understands that football is a team sport, sometimes I feel like he doesn't give a fuck about his team and he only cares about himself and about scoring goals so he looks better and so that he had a good game. Sometimes I feel like that's the only thing he cares about. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know him personally. I never sat down with him and talked about it. But from what I see on the pitch, especially in the 2024 Euros, broski, that was just fucking crazy, man. That was literally insane. His shot attempts. Broski literally had a fucking free kick. He's a righty, Ronaldo, right? He shoots with his right foot. Portugal had a free kick on their right-hand side, 30 meters away from the goal, on the right-hand side. For anyone who knows football or who watches football, you don't shoot from there. You cross that bitch in. You cross that ball in and you hope, you pray to God someone does a header and scores a goal or simply taps in the ball. But you don't shoot from there. That's like an unwritten rule. It's an unwritten law in football. You don't, when you're a righty, 30 meters out on like far right-hand side, you don't shoot from there. Why? Because there's literally 2% chances you score from there. Literally 2% chances. But Ronaldo being Ronaldo, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. He literally took that ball and he said to himself, yeah, broski, I'm the shit. I'm shooting this bitch. Guys, don't try, like, he's looking at the players. Don't think I'm gonna cross this bitch in. I ain't crossing this bitch in. I'm shooting this bitch. That's literally what he said to himself in Portuguese. I was looking at him and I was looking at him at his mouth, the way he was talking. I translated it. That's literally what he said to himself. And that's what he literally did. So that's why Portugal, if you guys want to have the best chances, bench Ronaldo. Bench him. Because if you think his performance was bad in the 2024 Euros, which, if I might add, was really, really bad, and he was shooting from everywhere, which not only did that make him look bad, but that made the team play bad and look bad. Because, like it or not, Ronaldo is the greatest Portuguese player of all time. So when he's on the pitch, all the players who are on the pitch with him, they all feel the necessity and the need to give him the ball and to pass him the ball so that he can lead the team. Because that's fucking Ronaldo. Imagine, like it or not, yes, he still has that aura and he still has that, how can I say that? He still has that authority on the pitch amongst his Portuguese national teammates. He still has that authority, which is normal. I understand it. If I was a youngster playing for Portugal and I have Ronaldo who's 40 years old, who's one of the greatest players of all time, who's the greatest Portuguese player of all time, who's the greatest European player of all time, and he asks me for the ball, broski, there's high chances of me giving him the ball, even though he's in a bad position. And then if he shoots from somewhere where deep down I know that he fucking shouldn't be shooting from there, the chances that I'm going to say something or I'm going to bash him in front of him to his face are low. Why? Because that's Ronaldo. He's bigger than the coach. He's bigger than the manager. He's bigger than the national team coach. He's bigger than him. He can literally tell the coach, fuck off, let's get a new coach. And they did it. In 2022 World Cup, Ronaldo was shitting about the Portuguese coach. And what happened? 2024 Euros came in, they changed the manager. Why? Because Ronaldo wanted a new manager. So he can easily take out a player. So of course, I'm going to give him the ball. I'm going to let him shoot from wherever he wants. And not only am I going to let him do it, I'm going to say, yo, broski, you're doing a really good job. Please continue like that. Wow, bro, you're amazing. But deep down, I'm going to be like, what the fuck is this guy doing, bro? He's fucking shooting from anywhere. Is this guy mentally fucking insane? But it's like a conundrum. You're like in the middle of something you cannot control. So I understand. But still, if Ronaldo would have a little bit of decency inside of him and understand and have a little bit of a reality check to himself, listen, I'm already a legend. I proved everything I had to prove. I have nothing else to do. I'm 40 years old. I'm 41. I play in Saudi Arabia, which is, I'm going to get to that topic later, which is something he also said on the podcast. I play in Saudi Arabia. I already proved myself. I accomplished everything I could accomplish. Let me give the place to Rafael Leao. Let these youngsters build their legacy and do something for a national team, because I clearly cannot. But in his mind, which is clouded by his ego, by his hunger to be the greatest, which will never happen, but he still has that hunger inside of him. He's never going to step down, and he's going to be starting in a 2026 World Cup. Like, I can see it. I can see Ronaldo starting up front, number 9, and just fucking everything up. But hey, that's good for these other teams, because we know that 100% Portugal aren't winning. So like I said, yes, if he wins the World Cup, or if he doesn't win it, I mean, he's still going to remain Cristiano Ronaldo, a fucking legend of the game. But if he wins it, this is where I'm also half-half, because if Portugal somehow win it, it's definitely for sure not going to be because of Cristiano Ronaldo. It's going to be because of these other players, because Ronaldo on the pitch cannot produce what he used to produce in his prime in 2016, 17, whatever. But yes, if he wins it and he's starting every single game and he scores like 3 or 4 goals in 7 games, like, we have to give it to him. It's going to help him in his legacy. It's going to put him higher on the GOAT list. But still, he's going to be below, like I said so many times, he's always going to be below no matter what he wins. He's always going to be below Messi, Maradona, and Ronaldinho, which those 3 players are always going to be the 3 greatest players of all time. He then went on to say, one competition with 6 or 7 games, it's not fair. Not fair. Hey, Ronaldo, see it how you want to see it. Okay, so next topic regarding, again, this interview, this podcast regarding Piers Morgan and CR7. He said, I'm quoting him again, I'm quoting the GOAT again, the Saudi League is better than Portuguese League, League One, where it's only PSG. Yo, Ronaldo, broski, now you're just humiliating yourself. Saudi League is better than the Portuguese League and then League One. Broski, Saudi League is so dog shit. Literally me, who never played professional soccer, I could literally go there, blindfold myself, attach my right arm to my left leg, and be top 5 players in that league. Like, real shit. Top 5 players in that league if I blindfold myself and I attach my right arm to my left leg. That's how shit that league is. Now, for people who are going to come after me, oh yeah, but the MLS where Messi plays currently is also shit. I never said the opposite. The MLS league is also pure dog shit. It is. Both leagues are pure dog shit. But the difference is, Messi doesn't go on podcasts or in interviews and say, you know what? MLS is actually a really good fucking league. It's actually one of the greatest leagues on planet Earth. Ronaldo does that. He goes on podcasts, he goes on interviews, he puts himself in the public eye, and he says, you know what? The Saudi League is actually one of the greatest leagues on planet Earth. And that's the difference between Messi and Ronaldo. That's why I don't bash Messi playing in the MLS, because Messi, deep down, he knows that the MLS is shit. He knows it. He's never going to say it because that's where he plays, and he wants to have some level of respect to the owners of the teams, to the players who play in the MLS. But at the same time, he's not delusional. He's also not going to say, oh, the MLS is better than League One and the Portuguese League and whatever. Bro, see, that's just crazy. But Ronaldo says that the Saudi League is better than the Portuguese League, League One, and many other leagues. And if we're being honest, we all know that the only reason Ronaldo says that is because he's playing in the Saudi League. That's the only reason why. If Ronaldo would have never stepped foot in the Saudi League, he would have never talked about the Saudi League, and he would have said, the Saudi League, that's actually pure dog shit. If the roles were reversed, if Messi was playing in the Saudi League and Ronaldo was the one playing in the MLS, Ronaldo would be saying that the Saudi League is pure dog shit and that the MLS is the greatest league on planet Earth. But so what I mean by this is he's not being unbiased, Ronaldo. He's being biased. Since he's playing in the Saudi League, he's cocksucking the Saudi League, whilst it is pure dog shit. He goes on to say, Cristiano Ronaldo hits back at those who say he still scores only as he's in Saudi. He then went on to say, I don't need to speak because they can say whatever they want. They can say Saudi League is shit. They've never been here. They've never played here. They don't know how to run with 40 degrees, and they don't know anything. Okay, even though those players who play in the greatest leagues on planet Earth, even though they are going to shit on the Saudi League, even though they never played there, they can still shit on the Saudi League. Why? Because we watch with our eyes. Everyone who knows football watches with their eyes. And when they watch and they see, oh shit, this is pure dog shit. The level is really low. It's really, really low compared to these other leagues. Why? Because you can simply watch and you can see the level of talent, the level of technical abilities, the level of tactical abilities, the level of physicality is way, way below European standards and also South American standards, if we're being honest. He went on to say, never played here, and they don't know anything. And then he went on to say, Saudi League is much, much better than the Portuguese League, of course. Much, much better, broski. Not only are you saying that the Saudi League is better than the Portuguese League, you're saying it's much, much better. Like, that's, not only simply saying that Saudi League is better than Portuguese League is fucking crazy, is mentally unstable, but to say that it's much, much better, yo, call like a psychiatrist or something, that, broski, that's just crazy. But hey, that's Ronaldo. And then he went on to say, and also, it's way, way better than the French League, where there's only PSG. PSG right now, currently, and I'm not only speaking by my opinion, last season, PSG won the Champions League, which means they're the greatest team in Europe, which also means they're the greatest team on planet Earth. PSG did that. And even now, currently, they are the defending champions of the Champions League. And even now, currently, they play really fucking well. And they are maybe still the greatest team in the world. And they still have big, big chances of winning the Champions League. If PSG were to play against, what's the name of Ronaldo's team? Al Nassr? Al Nassr, yeah. If PSG were to play against Al Nassr, Ronaldo's team in the Saudi League, 20-0, 15-0, 25-0, 30-0, I don't know, but it would be minimum 10-0 for PSG. It would be man amongst boys. It would be man playing against little boys. The difference of level would be so high. No English grammatical word exists to describe the difference, the level of difference that would be. Humongous isn't the right word because it undervaluates what actually is the real difference between those two teams. The word still doesn't exist. Maybe one day it's going to exist. We still have to wait on it. But you cannot say that the Saudi League is better than League One where there's only PSG. Cristiano Ronaldo hits back and speak. And then he went on to say why they don't count Saudi League for the Golden Boot goals. Oh my God. Yo, broski. You want them to count the Saudi League for the Golden Boot. For people who don't know, the Golden Boot is for the top scorer in the top 5 European leagues. How it works. If you play in La Liga, if you play in the English Premier League, if you play in Serie A, if you play in League One, and if you play in the Bundesliga, if you score 1 goal, that counts for 2 points. And then if you play for Portugal, that counts for 1.5. In the Portuguese League, that counts for 1.5 points. If you play in, let's say, Belgium, 1.5, Holland, 1.5. And then if you play for like in the Serbian League or in the Indian League or in the African League or in the MLS or also in Saudi Arabia, 1 goal only counts for 1 point. Why? Because the people who decided this, they're unbiased and they know that the top 5 leagues in Europe are a million times better than all these other leagues. And that's why when you score 1 goal in this league, it counts for 2 points. And why? Because you don't want to have a player playing in fucking India where the league is fucking dog shit. You don't want to have a player playing there, scoring 60 goals, and then him winning the Golden Boot because the best player in England, which is the greatest league on planet Earth with the Spanish league, he only scored 40 goals. So he only has 40 points. That's why the pointing system exists like that, so that it becomes fair. They know that scoring 1 goal in the EPL or scoring 1 goal in La Liga or the Italian league or the German league or the French league is at minimum equivalent to scoring 2 goals, if not 3. 2 is really, really generous. 2 or 3 goals in the Saudi League or in the fucking Indian League or the Pakistani League or whichever fucking league that isn't in Europe. They know that there's a huge difference. That's why these points exist. For me, it's why I play everywhere. Meaning Ronaldo did actually play everywhere. He played in the Portuguese league. He then went to Manchester United, which is in the English league. He then went to Real Madrid, which is in La Liga, the Spanish league. And then he went to Juventus, which is in Serie A, the Italian league. So he literally played everywhere except the French league and the German league. So yes, he can say that, but Krish, you know that there's no comparisons between those top 5 leagues and the fucking Saudi Pro League, man. Don't even talk about it. And then he went on to say, for me, it's more easy to score in Spain in La Liga than to score goals in Saudi Arabia. Yo, nah. For me, it's more easy to score in Spain and La Liga. Side note, Spain currently, La Liga, is currently top 2 leagues in the world. It's either La Liga or the EPL. Like, those 2 leagues are by far the 2 greatest leagues on planet Earth. Like, by far. Like, by fucking far. Like, it's not even comparable. And he went to say that and also, Ronaldo, when he played in La Liga in his prime was when he was in La Liga with Real Madrid. The La Liga at that time was the greatest league on planet Earth. And he had the audacity to say that scoring in La Liga, scoring in Spain is easier than scoring in the Saudi Pro League. I don't know what else to say, guys. I've been speaking for 42 minutes? I've been speaking for I don't know what else to add, guys. I don't know what else to add. I don't know. I'm going to end it there. I'm going to end Ronaldo there. And then let me do one last thing that Ronaldo said on that podcast. I left this one for last because it's my favorite one. Let me take some water before I do this one because I'm going to go. He said, and I'm quoting him again, Messi better than me? I don't agree. I don't want to be humble. Okay, so you prefer being mentally insane than being humble? So in your mind, being mentally insane, being delusional is better than being humble. Broski, Messi better than me? And I'm quoting him right now. This is what he said, and this is how he said it. Messi better than me? I don't agree. I don't want to be humble. Broski. Yo, this guy, like I said so many times, Ronaldo is the equivalent of a woman who was smoking hot when she was 25 and now she's 50 and she can't agree with the fact that she isn't as hot as she once was. That's Ronaldo. Broski, give it up. Ronaldo, give it up. You've been chasing Messi ever since you started playing football. You've been chasing him. You never caught up to him, and you're never going to catch up to him. Now it's over. The debate is over. It's been, first of all, like me and Jamie Carragher have always been saying, it's never been a debate. There's never been a debate, and there's never ever going to be a debate between Messi and Ronaldo. But hey, like I said, since we humans, we love to have competition. Like I said, Mayweather needed Manny Pacquiao. Muhammad Ali needed George Foreman. Mike Tyson needed Evander Holyfield. We like competition. That's normal. It's the human nature inside of us. But if we're being honest, if you know football, there was never a debate between Messi and Ronaldo. The only reason why there is a debate amongst some people who are a bit delusional and who don't fully understand the sport is because Ronaldo played in the same era as Messi. That's the only reason why. He was blessed. He was blessed to play in the same era as Messi. Even though he thinks he was cursed, he was actually blessed. Because if Ronaldo was born in a different era, or he was playing in a different era, they would have never compared Ronaldo with Messi. Just as much as they're never comparing Marco van Basten with Messi, just as much as they're never comparing Ronaldo Fenomeno with Messi. Why? Because they're in different eras, and they know that as good as Marco van Basten was, one of the greatest strikers of all time, as good as Ronaldo Fenomeno was, as good as Zinedine Zidane was, as good as all these fucking legends were, they weren't even close to Messi. Not even fucking close. Mile differential. It's not even like, I don't know. You can't even compare it. But hey, I understand. Ronaldo, He doesn't want to be humble. He wants to be delusional. And he should thank his lucky stars. He should thank God. He should thank Jesus. Whoever he believes in, Allah, Buddha, fucking whoever exists, Moses. He should thank all the gods that he played in the same era as the GOAT, the King, Lionel Andres Messi. So that was it for the Ronaldo Piers Morgan interview. And also, now this is my personal reflection. As much as I hated on Ronaldo this past 45 minutes, I respect the shit out of Ronaldo. Like, honestly, if you think about peak human beings, if you think about individuals who literally did everything they could in their power to accomplish all of their goals and all of their fucking dreams, at the top of the list, you have Cristiano Ronaldo, Michael Jordan, Donald Trump, fucking all these individuals who did so much. Elon Musk, I don't know, the list goes on. John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, the list goes on. It's crazy. But Ronaldo is up there, man. Like, if I'm being honest, I know I've been hating on him for these past 45 minutes, but as a human being, he's the peak human being. The level of discipline he had is crazy. It's unheard of. Only Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant had that level of discipline. His hunger, his will, his perseverance to never give up and just go after everything he wants is actually, I salute him. That's really, honestly, if I'm being unbiased and I'm being fair, that's crazy, man. And actually, I see him as a big source of motivation, because if we agree, like, everything he accomplished in football with the level of talent that he was naturally given by God is fucking crazy, bro. Like, there's so many players, let's not talk about Messi. Messi's on a different planet. But all these other players, there's so many players that have existed or that still exist to this day that were born with way more talent than Ronaldo. Neymar had way more talent than Ronaldo. Eden Hazard, way more talent than Ronaldo. Iniesta had more talent than Ronaldo. Zidane had more talent than Ronaldo. Johan Cruyff had more talent than Ronaldo. Did I say Zidane? Yeah, probably. Xavi, Iniesta. So many players were born with so much more talent than Ronaldo. And Ronaldo is above all of them. Why? Discipline, work ethic, perseverance, mentality, mental strength, and just being a top dog, being a top fucking G. I ain't gonna lie, Ronaldo, like I said, if you look at as a human being, when it comes to accomplishing your dreams, facing the unknown, facing your fears, and accomplishing everything you want to accomplish, hitting all your targets, reaching all your goals, Ronaldo is number one. Then, of course, you have Michael Jordan. You have many other people, but Ronaldo is up there with them, man. And if I'm being honest, man, I don't want to bash him. So that's why, me personally, I don't understand why he feels the need, the necessity to go on podcasts, on interviews, on the radio, wherever, and talk about, yo, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm better than him. Like, why does he have so much that type of insecurity inside of him when he's literally the man? He's literally a walking flex. Ronaldo has everything a man could literally want to have. That's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's fucking rich. He's rich as fuck. He's famous as fuck. He's one of the greatest athletes of all time, one of the greatest soccer players of all time. He's good looking. All the women loved him. He could have had any girlfriend he wanted to have. He was with Irina Shayk. He was with top models. He accomplished all of his goals. I mean, he literally has everything a man would want to have. That's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a walking flex. If Ronaldo was to zip his mouth shut for the rest of his life, we will all see Ronaldo as a peak human being. He's literally a walking flex. Like I've been saying, he's a walking flex. So that's why I'm so curious. I guess curiosity is the way to go. I guess I'm curious to why he feels the necessity to say I'm this, I'm that, and to flex, to boast about himself. Like, where does that come from? He's literally fucking Cristiano Ronaldo. He accomplished more than 99.9999999% of human beings to ever exist. Like, you have Louis XIV, and then you have Cristiano Ronaldo, in terms of accomplishments. You have Alexander the Great, fucking conquered the world. You have Genghis Khan, and then you have fucking Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know. I guess that's his mentality. Maybe, he wants to be the best also in football. He wants to be the greatest when it comes to football also. That's why he's like, oh no, but I scored more goals. I did this. Like, he feels like maybe when it comes to football, he feels insecure next to Messi, which I understand. I mean, Messi is by far the greatest of all time. But I never understood, man, Ronaldo's necessity to go on podcasts and interviews and boast about himself and talk about himself. Like, oh, I'm the best at this. I'm the best at that. Like, he literally, on Piers Morgan's podcast, he literally said, who's more famous than me? I'm the most famous person on planet Earth. Which, I mean, it's actually fair. He is one of the most famous persons on planet Earth. He's the most followed guy on Instagram. He's the most followed person on Instagram. And he is amongst top 5 most famous persons on planet Earth. I mean, there's him, there's Messi, there's Donald Trump, there's Kim Kardashian, and there's like fucking, I don't know who else. But why does he feel the need to say, like, we all know it. Like, no one ever said Ronaldo isn't famous. Like, everyone knows who fucking Cristiano Ronaldo is. But my question is, why does he feel the need to go on a podcast and say, I'm the most famous guy in person. I'm the most famous person on planet Earth. Like, he says it, and you see, like, he's insecure about it. But broski, you literally are. Like, if like, there's no way of measuring it. But if we take it, like, let's say Instagram followers, he has the most Instagram followers on planet Earth. So, I mean, that's one way to measure it, right? So he already there by default, he's one of the most famous persons on planet Earth, Cristiano Ronaldo. But he still feels the need to go on podcasts, interviews with Piers Morgan and talk about it. I did 51 minutes. I didn't think I was going to talk this long about Piers Morgan and the Ronaldo interview, but I'm not going to finish everything I wanted to talk about. I'm going to leave that for another episode, but I'm going to do a bit more. I'm going to round it up to 1 hour. So recently, new studies show that fathers can pass the benefits of their workouts to their children through their genes. So already they're working out. I'm a big promoter of working out, staying physically active, and being in shape. Why? Because as human beings, we are animals. We are wired to be active and to do some sort of physical work. Going to the gym, playing a sport, swimming, running, lifting weights, playing soccer, playing football, playing tennis, playing whatever. We're wired to do some sort of physical activity, some sort of physical level. We're wired to do it. But I never knew that your dad can literally pass his workouts, his results, and his genes to his offspring. I mean, I kind of logically, I would have probably logically come up to some sort of conclusion similar to this one. But now studies, real studies, not me just thinking about it logically, but real studies made by real doctors confirms this. And this is only an extra benefit to all the other fucking benefits that there is to working out. And like I said on my last podcast, one of the main reasons that Gen Z, which is my generation, I'm a Gen Zer, one of the main reasons that we have the lowest levels of testosterone throughout the entire history of all generations is because we don't move enough. Now I'm speaking generally, of course. There are some people who are really active physically, but in general, in the global general, we don't move enough. And that's one of the main components and reasons that our testosterone levels are as low. Of course, there's also poor sleep. Our sleeping is way poorer than previous generations, and our unhealthy habits of dieting and eating junk food and eating really, really bad fucking food. I mean, of course, there are more chances of you eating bad foods because, let's say 1945, there wasn't McDonald's, there wasn't Harvey's, there wasn't whatever. But at the end of the day, no one is shoving McDonald's down your throat. No one is forcing you to eat junk food. No one is forcing you to eat candy. No one is forcing you to abuse sugar, to abuse junk food. No one is forcing you. At the end of the day, you're doing it by your own free will. And like I said on my last podcast, the only pros you have when it comes to eating junk food, to eating bad foods, unhealthy foods, is you get a dopamine hit for the 20 minutes that you're eating it. You feel really good. It tastes fucking good. You get a good dopamine hit. But after that, it's only cons. You feel like shit. Your body didn't get the necessary fuel and the necessary nutrients that it actually needs. And the list goes on. But to get back to the main argument of how fathers can pass down their workouts to their sons, that's fucking awesome to see that can happen. That's going to push me and motivate me to work out even harder and even more because I want to bless my kids up. I want to bless them up, and that's what I'm going to fucking do. But really, really important. So now I'm going to I have like 5 minutes left. Should I do Bible verses? Yeah, the world always needs more Christianity, right? We always need more Christianity. Now, let me do Bible verses. I'm going to do 12 Bible verses. And before I do these Bible verses, as you guys know, I'm a big Christian. I was born a Christian. And throughout my entire childhood and throughout my entire life, my parents have always told me, pray to God before you go to sleep. Whenever you feel like you need to talk to someone, talk to God. He's going to help you out. In the beginning, when you're young, you're like, that sounds weird. That sounds dumb. Like, who's God? Like, how can I talk to him? Like, where is he? Like, I can't touch him. I can't see him. I can't hear him. But nowadays that I got older, more life experience, and I just understand. And now I'm a big Christian. And it's true, man. Whenever you're chasing your dreams, whenever you're looking for something, whenever you're trying to achieve something, whenever you're just going through life trying to be the best version of yourself and trying to improve and become better and reach higher status, reach your goals, whatever, it's a really fucking hard journey. It's really, really hard for everyone. For me, for you, for whoever. It's hard for everyone. There's going to be moments where you're going to doubt yourself, which is normal, no matter who you are. Elon Musk doubts himself a lot. Ronaldo, that's why Ronaldo feels the need, is because from time to time, he doesn't feel worthy and he doubts himself. And even though he's one of the most accomplished individuals of all time, that's like, it's like wired inside of all human beings to doubt yourself and to feel unworthy from time to time. But if you put all of your trust and your belief in God and God's work and God's destiny that he has for you, that's a weight off your shoulders. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm a big religious person. I'm a big Christian. But at the same time, free will exists. We all have free will. And if you want to change, no one's going to help you. You have to help yourself. So I'm not saying just pray to God and then go sit in your fucking couch and do nothing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are things that you cannot understand, that something bad can happen to you that you consider bad today, but actually 2 weeks later or 2 months later, you're going to realize and look back at it and say, that was actually a good thing that happened to me. That was actually a good thing, because if that would have never happened, this would have never happened today, which is something really, really good. Like, if I say a little experience from my dad, personal experience, he told me when he was in Sarajevo, in Bosnia, that's where he grew up, Sarajevo, Bosnia, as a Serbian, as an ethnic Serb in Bosnia. During the Civil War, in the first 2 years of the Civil War, my dad was flourishing throughout the war because he was making a lot of fucking money. My dad, he was making a lot of money in Sarajevo during the war because he found a way to like get electricity from companies and then sell it to local people. So he's making a lot of fucking money. But as the war went on, as the Civil War went on, and my dad being a Serbian Christian by default, by ethnicity, amongst Muslim Bosnians, there was a lot of talk, and his friends told him, yo, you have to leave Sarajevo because there's talks of people who want to kill you, Muslim Bosnians, because they don't want a Christian Serbian getting that much money, exploiting an opportunity that a Muslim Bosnian could have instead of a Christian Serbian. So he had to escape, or he would have gotten killed by a Muslim Bosnian because he wanted his position. So at first, my dad was really fucking pissed. Why the fuck do I have to leave? I found a way to make a lot of money. I'm not in the war. I'm not in the army. I don't have to go serve. Like, I'm making a lot of fucking money. I'm having the time of my life. I'm living my best life. Now I have to leave because some Muslim Bosnian wants to kill me because I'm a Christian Serbian. So he had to leave. He fled to Serbia. And then he met my mother. He married her. He knew inside of 2 weeks when he met her that he was going to marry her. And then everything that happened, he came to Canada. He had me and my brother. We were born here. But the main argument remains that he always used to say in the beginning, he was really fucking pissed that the world, that life was pushing him to leave Sarajevo, where he was making a lot of money and where, I mean, he grew up there. That was his home, like, right? Like it or not, that was his home. He grew up there. He was born there. So in the beginning, he was really fucking pissed that he had to leave that place because of reasons that were out of his control. He had to leave that place, escape to Serbia in a little village where he met my mother, and then luckily he found a way to immigrate to Canada as refugees with my mother, and then he had me and my brother here in Canada. But now when he looks at it, he's thanking God every single day that God made him leave Sarajevo, Bosnia, because if he never would have left Sarajevo, Bosnia, he never would have came to Canada, never, because he would have just stayed there, just kept his company of electricity or like water or some shit like that. He would have just kept his company, continued making money. Maybe he would have never met my mom. Maybe he would have never immigrated to a Western country. Maybe he would have stayed there his entire life. And who knows what his life would have looked like nowadays, today in 2025. Who knows? But now when he looks back at it, he thanks God every single day that God made him leave Sarajevo to go to Serbia and then meet my mother and then try to go to Italy. But the Italians didn't want him to refugee there. And then him going to Switzerland and the Red Cross. Like, there's this really, really big story that my dad did during the Civil War. I'm going to probably bring him on a podcast and fucking talk about everything he went through because he has some crazy stories, man. Like or not, growing up in communist Yugoslavia, already there's crazy stories. And then Civil War breaking in 1992 when he was like 23, 24. Then he has even more crazy stories, everything he passed. So I'm definitely going to have him on a podcast. But the main point is, nowadays, when he looks back at it, he's fucking grateful and he thanks God every single time that God pushed him in a way to flee from Sarajevo. But in the beginning, when he had to flee Sarajevo, he was really fucking pissed. So that's why we as human beings, we cannot see the bigger picture. Only God can see the bigger picture. If you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, whatever, in a higher power, only it or God can see the bigger picture. That's why sometimes we human beings with our egos, with our limited vision of the world and of life, we get all depressed and all sad. But if you understand that literally everything that happens in your life is for your own good, like literally everything, even if it feels bad, even if it sounds bad, if it's happening to you, there's a reason why, and it's the best thing that could happen to you currently. That's why it's happening. That's why when you put all of your trust in God, and when sometimes you just say, you know what, I don't understand your plan, God. I don't understand your vision, but I'm still going to put all of my faith and my trust in you. You're going to be way more joyful as a human being. You're going to have way less stress, and you're going to live life to the fullest as a human being. So that was my little story about putting faith in God. It can be Jesus. It can be Allah. It can be Buddha. It can be whoever. It can be the universe. It can be, I don't know what, spirituality can be, whatever you believe in, but it's a concept of believing in a higher power that's important. So let me do these 12 Bible verses back to back, and then we can end the episode right there. So first one, Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Like I said, every single human being, all human beings, we all have a purpose, we all have a destiny, and we're all special in God's eyes. No one's better than you. No one is above you in God's eyes. We all have our own path and our own destiny. Philippians 4:13, I fucking love this verse. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. John Jones, the greatest UFC fighter of all time, he has that verse tatted from his right shoulder across his chest. It's a beautiful verse that all Christians really love. With Christ, everything is possible. Even the impossible becomes possible with Christ. Isaiah 40:31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything, there is a reason. Like I said, everything that happens, there is a reason why. Even if we don't see it, even if we don't understand it, there's a reason why. And a time to every purpose under the heaven. James 1:2-4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. Whenever you face trials or problems, that's God testing you. And the only way you can level up, just like in video games, the only way you can level up in video games is when you face problems and when you face your fears and when you kill the king, like in video games, when you kill the monster or whatever. That's the only way you can level up. In video games, you cannot level up if your character is simply doing nothing, sitting at home. The only way to level up is through hardships and through tough times. That's the only way you can level up as a person. And like they always say, every problem is an opportunity in disguise to grow, to gain something, or to flourish. Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Do not worry about the future. The reason why people have anxiety is because they keep overthinking about what's going to happen in the future. The future is something you cannot control, it's something I cannot control, it's something no one can control. No one can control the future. Who knows what's going to happen? And since it's something that you cannot control, you should not stress over it. You know, there's this very, very famous quote. I'm not sure who said it, but it goes like this. It goes, you have a problem in your life. Good. Is it something you can control? No. So why stress about it? You cannot control it. Why stress about it? It's something you can control. Then why stress about it again? You can control it, change it. Why stress about it? Just simply change it. And I fucking love that quote. 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud. Amor vincer omnia. I have it tatted on my arm. Love conquers all. Love is the most powerful emotion, is the strongest energy that exists on planet Earth and amongst individuals. Especially human beings, we're all social creatures. It's how we're wired. It's how we were born to be. And love is the strongest power, is the strongest element, is the strongest force on planet Earth. Nothing is stronger. Nothing conquers more humans' hearts than love. Proverbs 27:1. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. You never know. Like I said, the future, it's out of your control. Who knows what's going to happen? No one can predict the future, not even those gypsies who live in Europe who pretend they can predict the future with fucking cards or tea leaves or whatever. It's a scam. I'm from Europe. I know how these gypsies think in Europe. They're all scammers. All of them. And I'm not afraid to say it because it's a fact. Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Always be open to change, because the only constant in the world is change. The only thing that is constant in this world, ever since humanity exists, nowadays and forever, is change. Change will always happen. Change has always happened, and change is currently happening right now as I'm speaking. Micah 6:8. What does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. With God, always be humble and always praise Him and walk justly. Don't do to others what you wouldn't like them to do to you, and always be just. Psalm 23:4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. With God, do not fear. If you have God by your side, and God is always by your side, God has unconditional love towards you, towards me, towards every single human being. No matter what you did, no matter who you are, no matter what your past looks like, God will always love you and will always protect you and will always have unconditional love towards you. Last one, Matthew 7:7. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. When you want something, whatever you want, the world is your oyster. Meaning, no matter who you are, no matter what you want, it's out there for the taking. No one can stop you. No one can control you. No one has power over you. Like I said, we all have free will. No one can control your free will. Even before, when there were kings, how did kings end up dying? Because the population said, you know what? I'm fucking sick and tired of this king. Let's go and kill him. Out of their own free will, they did it. So literally no one can control you. No king, no dictator, no president, no government, no whatever. No one can control you. Ask and it will be given. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. That was it, guys, for this episode. See you next episode. Peace out.